everyone, it's Larry here at LC Model Shipbuilding, and in this episode we're going to be starting on our command tower and some of our guns on the front section. So thank you very much for tuning in, and let's get started. Okay, so to achieve what we're going to do here, I'm going to be going back and forth between essentially three different sets of directions. The trumpeter kit, obviously, the KA kit, and the Eduardo kit now, because that's in the mix too. So essentially, I'm going to take the best of each set, basically, to do what I'm doing here, and kind of go from there. So as I look here at what I'm getting ready to do, I'm basically going to start with the forward set of decks here for the superstructure. So essentially we're looking at that. So we're going to take this off and put that to the side for right now. And I'm just going to right now start getting parts around to paint, because this all ends up our light gray. So there is no real sense in gluing anything right now or anything like that, because it all has to be painted first. So what I'm going to do is cut them out, and I'm going to glue them onto, not glue them, I'm sorry, I'm going to tape them onto a piece of tape to use as a base for painting. So that's what I'm going to work on right now, is just basically getting pieces cut out and prep for painting. And there's quite a few of them, so part of this is going to take some good organization, and then a lot of this it's going to need some file work, as I'm seeing here. So just getting it right before I actually paint will be important. But there's like seam lines along this tube here, and sprue marks. So anyway, I'm going to work on getting all of this cut out, and then I'm going to number it on the piece of tape that I'm putting it on. But even that's going to probably be a struggle, because the numbers will get covered with the paint. So I'll use popsicle sticks to hold the pieces, and I'll probably just write the numbers onto the popsicle sticks, so at least I have something to reference it to. And that's basically what my plan will be for that. So I'll probably kind of pre-place things just to kind of get a feel for the fitment before I glue it then, or even before I paint. So these guys go, well, they say they go on the side here, but I think the directions may be slightly off, because the holes for them are right there. And that's how it shows in the KA kit as well. So that would be a trumpeter error. And now we got E8 and 10. So this looks like just a wall behind, or that will go in front of a anti-aircraft gun, I'm thinking, without going too far ahead to look yet. Just what it looks like. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff all prepped, and then I'll come back and kind of show you where we're at before we paint. So this video likely is going to be just a lot of small intricate pieces kind of going together and getting prepped up. Most of them just get painted gray anyway, so there won't be a lot of excitement on that end, but I think it will get kind of exciting to see all the detail, because it just, this this ship has just detail after detail on it, and with all the plus-up stuff that we're doing on this, it should be pretty neat as it starts to come together. So I am looking forward to it quite a bit, actually. So I just want to see, it's calling for that to go kind of weird. Like, there's no way those could be the size. Ah, these are for the rear. Beautiful. Okay, well, I still need, okay, so not a big deal. I still need 2 of these up here. These I'm just going to tape onto the aft section so I don't lose them, and I will grab the correct ones. Okay, well, that makes a little bit more sense now. So anyway, let me cut some stuff out, like I said, and come back and show you where we're at before we paint, and then we'll do some assembly. So cut this one and I'll pause. Okay, so I ended up doing a little bit of the painting ahead of time because I started doing the 37 inch or 37 millimeter guns that go right in here, and they're a bit challenging. I'm just gonna say that. So I gotta do some painting because part of it needs to have dark paint and all that stuff on the light paint, and then these are the 2 little barrier walls that go on. So what I'm gonna do right now, the seat on here, which you can barely see, looks like kind of a tannish color from the pictures on the in the book here. So we're going to go with that, and I'm actually just going to use the same tan that I used for the walkway up on the upper level in the last video, but we're just going to hit that with a little bit of paint here. And then there is another tiny little seat on the section here that I don't even know if I'll be able to get in there enough to do. I don't think so, so I'm not gonna even attempt that. So there's that. And I'm probably actually going to end up doing like a whole video just on doing the 37 millimeter guns because I still have several to go. I think I have another 16 or 15 or 14, or, yeah, 14 I think to go total. So that will happen at some point when I have more to do with these. But for this, I just wanted to kind of experiment with them and see how they actually go together and all that good stuff. And I just chose to do that off camera. So sorry, but like I said, we'll end up doing another one here in the future. Now, these are partially black, not black, but like a dark gray. I'm using German gray right now. So they're partially that up to a certain level, and then they're the lighter gray. And then there's the little wheel that you would use to turn or to elevate your gun. So we're going to get that painted. I'm just blowing on it right now because it got a little bit of paint in the wheel there and I don't want it to lose my detail. So there we go. Hopefully, I don't know if you can even see it, but there you go. Focus. There's actually several pieces, trying to get it to focus, several pieces of Photo-etch that create that also. So nice detail, very nice detail. And I'm using the KA MK1 set for that, not the one that came with the kit. So just an FYI. Okay, so what I'm using to paint, real quick, I'll show you in the book here. That gives me kind of the idea basically of what it should look like. And there's another shot. So that's essentially what I'm going for. So the bases of the guns are right here. So I'm going to finish up painting this, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue the gun down on it, and then we'll put some pieces on the deck, and then start moving our way along. One thing I'm doing as I go on the directions, which I haven't had to do this on a model in a while, but because I'm kind of skipping around, I'm just marking when I get something done with a check mark, so I know that I'm complete on it. Like I said, usually I don't do this much skipping, but just with how I'm trying to do this and be able to film, it's going to require me to skip around. And the other reason, I mean, there's just a million little pieces to this to build the detail. So obviously I don't want to miss something. Okay. Still got a little bit of paint in there that I don't want. Okay, so let me look here if anything else needs to be dark, and I don't think so. So now the backs of the barrels of these guns, 16 and 18, I have them, the numbers are different from left to right, so I want to make sure I don't mess that up. So they're going to be the lighter gray on the backs of the guns, the boxes that basically would hold your ammo. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and paint this stuff up, pause it, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I got one of these on already, and we're gonna go ahead and glue this one on a minute. I'm just waiting for some paint to dry on these guns, and then we'll get those ready to go. So I don't want to go too much on the glue here because I don't want it to bleed out onto the deck. So there we go. Now they do have the hole in here from Scale Decks, which is nice that they include it. Okay, and that geez, I can't talk. That literally goes right up to the edge of the deck here. And I'm just giving it a little pressure to kind of get set on there. I could use accelerator for it, but I'm not going to. Not for this little spot. Yeah, maybe I am because I wanted to hold how I have it. Okay. All right, so now these guns go on, and one goes on the left hand side and one goes on the right hand side. So I have them separated right now. So 16 is there, 18 is there. I just want to look back at the instruction here. So 16 goes on the right hand side when the back is facing me. Okay, so these have a really tiny hole in there, and then they just kind of snap onto it. I guess that's the best way to explain it. I can barely even see it. I'm assuming that's so you can actually rotate the gun, which, not rotate, but change elevation on it. But honestly, I'm not that worried about doing that ever. So I'm kind of thinking if I can't get this to snap in, I'm just gonna cut it and glue it, because that just might be a bit more than I need to try to get into at this point. Okay, so I got one side in. Oh, came out. These are kind of annoying, honestly. Okay. That one's basically set. I'm reluctant to go back and try to glue it now at this point, but I think I'm going to. I'm gonna have to touch up some of the darker paint here too, because it scratched a little bit as I was putting this on. And I bent my seat. Uh-oh. It's the problem with Photo-etch. You only get really one shot with it, maybe two, but it doesn't like to get rebent. Ooh, almost put the wrong one on. Yeah, these are a bit of a bugger. They do make a 3D printed version of these guns, which I did consider, but I really wanted to kind of try this whole photo etch process with these. Whew. I may be regretting that later. But we'll see. I mean, the detail on them is incredible, so I'll say that. Okay. Too far down. Sorry, I know this is probably kind of a boring spot. I'm gonna pause it while I work on putting these together, and then I'll come back. Okay, so here's our next set of pieces, and these all go essentially along here and down here. So that's basically all of the pieces that create these moving wings that come out here, and all of the instruments that go on here, and then there's some crates and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get them painted up. They are all going to be natural gray. And yeah, I got these two, or these couple little hinge pieces too I gotta do. I forgot to put them on. So let me get them taped down. Now, generally I would use blue tack for this, but I'm actually out of it, so I'm going to attempt it with tape, and I think we'll be okay. But tomorrow I definitely need to pick up some blue tack, because these tiny pieces, I don't want to risk having them fly all over the place. So I'm just going to be very careful with it, and keep a watch, and hopefully not blow anything off with the brush or the airbrush when I'm going over it, and we'll go from there. So anyway, a lot of small pieces here, and not a whole lot of brass, surprisingly. So this really doesn't have that much brass going on with it at this point. So anyway, let me go ahead and spray these, and I'll be back. Okay, so we are all painted up. That all turned out pretty nice, and I'm happy. So I'm gonna grab my section here, and we're going to start putting some parts on quick. So, like I said, I'm going to be marking off essentially everything as I go, so that way I know it's done and I don't have to come in back and revisit it. So obviously that's there, that's there. So these capstans that are here, I'm going to use the Photo-etch, so I didn't build them yet. So those I'm not going to mark off, but F17 is here. So we're going to take that off of here. And that basically goes right here. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there. And we'll just get our part on. Okay. Then we have our bridge wings that come out. So these I'm going to put in place, and then I'll put the bridge wing on. So there's these little holders that kind of hold it on because it stays rotatable essentially. So the one with the two little wings kind of coming out of it goes on bottom, hopefully. Doesn't want to stay in there. There we go. And the smaller one goes on the top. Now, because I glued this on like this, I'm going to have to go back in and kind of touch-up paint it for the top there. But I'd rather that than trying to flip around and do all kinds of craziness. And I put this on upside down because I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so I'm going to let them set up before I put the wing on. And I'll probably have to end up repainting it by the time I actually get it in place. There we go. All right, and I'm going to do the other side real quick. I shouldn't say quick, because when I do quick, I make mistakes. Okay. So there we go. Now I am going to have to drill a hole through here so I can get lights into the bridge. And they're going to be a very dim, probably go with a green light, but that's what my plan is anyway. So that's done. That's done. That's done. Done, done. All right, so we have F7 here. And that's this guy. So for this one, I'm just going to put some glue on the mounting point and a little on the wall kind of there. Now, I didn't put it on the top, obviously, because I don't have the deck glued down yet. And I want to put a little bit on that inside there. Okay. And then the same thing goes on the other side here. Now, these bottom, I'm pretty sure they are deck lights. I need to get some lighting, not lighting, but I guess you would call it lighting, into them. And what I'm going to use for that is some leftover porthole windows that I have from the Titanic build, because I have multiple different sizes and I do believe they'll fit, and they literally just pop right in, and then you put a nano light into it, and that illuminates everything. So I'm also going to use those for the portholes. Just want to see, I have multiple different sizes, so I want to see which one fits for what window or what porthole. Bingo. Okay, so those fit for the portholes, which I have plenty of. And it just sits right in there, and then on the outside kind of looks like glass, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on there to hold it in. And these are made of resin. Cameron over at Cameron's Model Works makes these, so they do fit based on the drilling that you do. But like I said, there's multiple different sizes that I'll be able to kind of pick from that I have here for leftovers, so I should be able to find something that fits. And these are the ones that I think I'm going to need for my deck lighting, but I'll play with that kind of offline. All right, now I'm going to have to touch that one up, and I think that's actually going to be black looking at it. Yeah, I'm going to paint that black. And then this one I just got to touch up the gray, so I'll come back to them. In the meantime, we're going to move over and put in our L24s, which go on here. Whoops, I'm skipping a spot. Our L24 goes right there. If I can see, that would be great. There we go. And one goes on the next piece. Or on the next side, I mean, sorry. All right. Now we have our little buildings here, the KA ones. And let's see, it goes so the outside, I guess I'm not going to really need the tweezers for this, so that goes there. Like that. And this one goes here, obviously. Okay, they're looking good. So I'm happy with that. Okay, and that put wood deck inside there, so that looks nice and real. Okay, next up, we have the roof of this, or not roof, but the top of that structure. So we have several L55s, which are these guys here. And it looks like they face backwards. Okay, I'm just trying to get enough glue on there. L55 goes here. I think I'll put a little bit more glue down just so I have enough for dipping it. Then we skip one, and then we have two more L55s. Beautiful. Okay, a little bit more glue. Okay. Then we have a L18, and that's going to face kind of forwardish. I'm assuming that these could move. All right. Now, staircase goes in there, which I did not paint yet. That's okay. I'll do them all together. We have an L16. This toolbox doohickey, ammo box more than likely. And that goes right here. Do it without the building on. There we go. Okay. Now let me flip the page here a minute. I did not do the gun yet. There's two guns that go here. I did not paint them and make them. That's okay. Plenty of time to go on this build. Alright, so we have another L24. And that goes right there. And another one goes here on the opposite side. I gotta look at them. They may be supposed to be white, which if they are, I can just do them by a brush. But I have a feeling they're supposed to be white. Okay, F24 is this little guy here. And that goes right there in the center. And then F19 goes right next to it. Okay, now we go back to these guys. Essentially, once I get this section done, I'll probably, for this video, go through another page or two, like we did, and get more pieces ready, and I'll paint them and then put them on. So that's kind of, I think, how my plan of attack is going to be on this. I'm just going to keep building it up until it's basically all assembled on it, on each section. I like the contrasting colors. I think it's pretty sweet. So I'm happy with that. And I'm really happy with how this decking turned out. I did a lot of weathering on Titanic that may or may not be, you know, accurate. I kind of think that it would have been back then, just the fact that it was a coal type area, which coal time. A lot of coal was burned there, I'll say it that way, and it makes me think that the ship would not exactly have been the cleanest. But this ship, I don't think I'm going to really do too much weathering on. I kind of want to go for a cleaner look on it. And I don't know. I like how it's looking so far. So up here we have 2 intakes that need these boxes on it. So we'll put them on. Okay, so that one goes there. Basically just like that. Now I gotta see, there's nothing showing for that circle yet right here, so I'm not sure what goes there yet. I guess I just haven't gotten to it in the instructions, but that's okay. There's one more of these crates. I just want to make sure I'm putting it, yep, okay, so that goes over here. Which I figured this is where it went, but I just wanted to make sure in the directions, because it's been a day or two since I painted this. Need more glue. There we go. Okay, so there's that. And now we just have these wings that go on here. There is Photo-etch that goes down on here. So I'm going to paint up those brackets quick. So I'm going to do black here. I'm going to do black here and clean up the gray on it. And then that will basically go right into here like that. So that's how they look. But let me go ahead and get the Photo-etch that goes on it, start getting it painted up. All of the pieces that go in here are black, so they're the next section that we're going to do. So I'm going to pause it a little while, get that stuff situated, and I'll be back. Okay, so I put the first rail on over here, and this is from the Eduardo set. I didn't use the KA on this one, or for this part. So to do these, basically just got to cut them out. And these are pretty, I wouldn't say flimsy, but they're easy to mess up. I guess that's the best word. Delicate, yeah, there we go, delicate. So be careful. I debated whether to put these on now or to wait until later, but my plan is to not really have to handle this thing a whole heck of a lot once I get that on anyway, so I should be okay. And the other good thing is they can stay inside. I think for display purposes I'll have them out most of the time, but when I'm moving it around and building, it'll work to be inside. Where am I caught still? Oh, there's one there. Okay, so there we got it separated, except for one here. There we go. So what we got to do with these, first is bend it up. And these do bend very nicely, and they're kind of perforated. Now here, this has to bend kind of out and curve, and I find it just a little bit easier to go ahead and do it before I go ahead and make the bend on it. And this one, we're going to do the same thing with bending it up. Okay, I bent those two pieces a little bit that I didn't mean to. Alright, and then we have this one that also just bends up, and then we'll meet them. So what we have to do now is get a little dab of glue, and let me put some more on there. So a little dab of glue, and I just basically ran it on the rungs here, kind of on the edge, so that way I could push this back and then basically just kind of hold it there for about 10 to 15 seconds just so it sets up. I don't know if you can see between my fingers or not. Probably not, but there we go. So that's that, and then I'll do the other one real quick on the other side here, and just right on the edge, hold it there for a couple seconds, and there, yeah, basically there we go. All right, so now we need to attach it onto here. I gotta play with this one a little bit. It's not seating quite how I need it to, so this one's real nice. I gotta figure this out, but I can still do this in the meantime. So the instructions tell you not to put the top piece on there that I did, but I did anyway, just for a little bit more support. So we get that on there. Let that set up for a second, and then that can basically be set there. So that's what it looks like. I gotta touch up paint a little bit. Had a small mishap with that, but we'll be all right. All right, so we're gonna finish up our pieces here. So you can see, basically, we're following the line. I did end up going all the way out here. Your eye would probably cut this in half, the trumpeter instructions show it to cut, but the book is showing the entire bucket here basically to be white, so I went with the book. May or may not be correct, but it looks good. I'm okay with it. So we're gonna go ahead and put our pieces on here, and then we're basically gonna finish up this video here at this point with these. So flip my pages back here a second just so I'm looking at the right thing. Ah, a lot of brass there, a lot of brass. Okay, so I do know that this will be able to get glued on after. This will be able to get glued on. I do want to drill a hole in here so I can continue to light my tower as I'm going here. But we're going to go ahead and put our pieces on here first. So J53 is our first one, and they go on the outer edge. So that is basically right up against the little wall here. I guess it's called a bulkhead, not a wall, but whatever. I don't even know if it'd be a bulkhead. Bulk work? I don't know. Whatever. There we go. And one on the other side. And I could have dropped the piece on there already, but I think it's just going to cause me more trouble that I'd be trying to deal with my fingers getting in there, so I'll just wait until we get these glued on. Okay. Now we got these boxes here that kind of look like ammo boxes, I guess, or dumpsters, but I know they got to be probably some kind of ammo box. Okay, so we'll get this one glued on too. Not getting a good angle there. Oh, that one doesn't go there. That's interesting. Huh. So that goes there. That's why it didn't fit right. Oh, I thought they were symmetrical, but apparently not. And it doesn't want to fit in the home that it does actually belong in. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, then we have our 50s that go on. These just look like storage cabinets of some sort. I could look them up on the book. I'm sure it'll tell me what they are, but they just basically look like a cabinet to me. Okay. So I'm going to finish putting these last three on, and then I'm going to glue this down. But because this is probably kind of boring, I'm just going to go ahead and pause it and skip ahead. So I'll be right back. Okay, so this seems like a good dividing point because I'm getting ready to go into the upper level here, but in order to do that, I need to start gluing some pieces together. But in order to do that, I need to do some electrical running. So I'm pretty much going to wrap up the video here, and this will probably be a 2-part series on just the command tower. So basically, obviously I gotta put that on, but obviously once we start rolling into the lighting, I want to kind of handle that in its own setup, and I'm also going to show basically how I'm wiring it and all that good stuff, so that will come in the next video. I also want to do some figures inside the fire control room here and down in this one, so you can kind of see them inside there, and I'll use some leftover Titanic officers and just paint them up in German color. So we'll do that. Obviously I have some guns that I got to build on here yet. There's this piece and a whole bunch of little detail work that go there that I need to paint white, so that will also be into the next video. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this one here, and we'll get started essentially on the next video with wiring and lighting. So thank you very much for watching and tuning in, and we'll see you next time here on LC Model Shipbuilding.